Welcome back to the channel. I'm Tequila B with TruLuv Designs, and today I just want to share really quickly with you a hidden treasure that I found over the weekend. Now, I do not consider myself to be a thrifter. I want to get into thrifting and start going to some thrift stores to find some things that I purchase on a regular. In one of my last videos, I mentioned wanting to rebuild my button collection. And one of my viewers left me a comment and said she did the same by visiting thrift stores. Light bulb went off, right? So I remember that me and my girls were out one day and I passed what I thought might be a thrift store, but not really sure. So my husband's birthday was this weekend and I took him to breakfast on Friday morning, and then he let me steal a little bit of his time and we went and visited this store. Once I got there, me and my daughter walked around and I realized it was not really a thrift store. So this store is Corner Square Quilts. It's in Cedar Hill, Texas, and I'll leave their information in the description box below so that you can visit that if you'd like. But let me tell you about this store. Now, I have visited thrift stores in the past, really with like nothing in mind that I was really looking for, just looking around. So obviously, I didn't purchase anything. But after watching thrifters here on YouTube and seeing the finds that they find, especially when it's sewing things like buttons and zippers and fabric and thread and stuff like that, I realized that's where I should probably put some of my focus. We went to Corner Square Quilts, such a tongue twister. Corner Square Quilts is actually a quilting store. The two ladies that worked there were so very nice and down to earth, okay? One of the ladies was telling another lady about the history of Husqvarna and Viking sewing machines, and I was eardropping just a little bit because I was interested in that brand of sewing machine. I do like to try things out for myself, but just some of what she was saying kind of has me thinking I may not want to go that route. But anyway, back to what I was there for. Immediately when I walked in, I was drawn to this piece of fabric. This right here. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but I will look at a picture I took because I always take a picture of the bolt so that I know what I'm getting, the content and whatever else information it gives me. But I'll look at that and I'll drop that here. This immediately drew my attention. I don't know if any of you know, but I do sing. I've been singing all my life, grew up in church, and my mom's side of the family is very musically inclined, from playing instruments to whatever. We all sing. That's like non-negotiable. We all sing. So this immediately called my name, and there was no way I was leaving without this fabric. So still thinking I was in a thrift store, I asked if the price on the sticker was the actual price, which said $17.79 a yard, I believe. Let me check my receipt. $17.75 a yard. And she said, yes. And I say, okay. Still kept it in my hand. And my daughter also found some fabric that she liked, and she wants some denim pants out of it. This gorgeous fabric here. I also took a picture of the end of this boat, and I'll drop that information in as well. But she did like this, and this was $19.80 a yard. So I kept both fabrics in my hand as I walked around the store. As I get to the back of the store, they have a little area set up where they are obviously working on projects. There's two sewing machines. There's a young lady standing back there whom I thought worked there because she was very friendly. She was just talking to me about the things that I was picking up. Like I picked up a pair of cutting shears, and then she was like, oh, I actually use a rotary cutter. I found that to be a little better. And so we actually struck up a conversation. So I asked her if she worked there. She said no. I said, oh, okay. She was actually there getting help with a project. So guys, if you are in the area and you need help with quilting projects, Corner Square Quilts is the place to go. They charge you $25 for the first 2 hours. I'm not sure if that's both hours together or each hour, but that $25 will get you through the entire project, which means if you have to come back multiple times, you don't get the help you need in one visit, that $25 covers you from the beginning to the end of that project. I did ask if they also help with garment sewing, and one of the ladies is very familiar with garment sewing, but they do not work on garments. They only do quilting. They also repair sewing machines. They have a guy that comes in early in the morning and he works on every machine that is there until he's done. She did tell me that, and that's for $85. Okay. If he has to order a part, your machine may be there a week. She says her guy is good. So you're welcome. Now, let me tell you what really, really, really made me the happiest. I saw the friction gel pens on the wall and I picked them up. So I'm reading the package and I'm like, they don't say heat erasable, but I wonder if they are. I've been intrigued with these pens since whatever season of Project Runway came on and they were announcing these pens. I looked them up on Amazon and they didn't really say heat erasable, so I was always leery that they weren't the right pens. Now, reading this package, they didn't say it either. So I saw a little cup with individual pens in it and I picked one up. So when I went to the register, I said, "Is this heat erasable?" She said, "It sure is. You want me to prove it to you?" I sure do. We went to the back of the store where they had all of their work set up and she demonstrated for me. So I'm going to do the same for you guys. But not only that, they also have heat erasable highlighters. Here are the pens. And these were $23.99. Hopefully there's not too much glare. You can see that. And then where did the highlighter go? Oh my. Okay. Looks like I've lost my highlighter already. Oh, there it is. Highlighter. And this was $175. Got me some heat erasable pens and a highlighter because the demonstration was everything. And let me tell you, you do not have to leave the iron on this for long at all. Like, it immediately disappears. So she told me a story about her grandson that comes in during the summer. He comes in and he draws a picture every day. He calls them his magic pens. So he draws a picture, then he erases it. He thinks it's gone. But the ladies put his drawing into the freezer. Well, now it's a blank piece of paper, but they put it into the freezer. And when he comes back the next day, his picture is back. And I'm like, "Excuse me, say that again?" "Yes. If you want your marks back, stick whatever it is in the freezer and the marks will come back." She couldn't tell me exactly how long because they just leave it in there and then take it out the next day. So I don't know exactly how long you need to leave it in, but stick it in the freezer. You need those markings back. It'll come back. I am going to do a test for you so that we can get, like a baseline of how long it may take for those markings to reappear. So I think she tried to sell these pens to another lady, and the lady was like, "Well, what if it's cold outside and I'm wearing something I made and then these marks come back?" And the lady's reply was, "Unless you're going to Alaska, you'll be okay. It's not going to be cold enough for those marks to come back. And if they do, throw it in the dryer. They're gone again." Right? So they also told me that when they're working on patterns and they're making changes or doing whatever, they mark it up because they know they can just erase it with the iron and move on to their next project and mark that up. I was amazed. I was really shocked and I couldn't believe that I was just so in awe. But I was excited and I bought the pens. Okay. So let me show you how easy it is for this to come off. And then I'm going to put a drawing on a piece of paper because I want you to see it. I'm going to put a drawing on the piece of paper. Then I'm going to erase it. You're going to walk with me into my kitchen and I'm going to stick that in the freezer. And we'll see how long it takes for the picture to come back. Uh-oh, it's almost there.